Okay, this is part 2 of getting a straight wall that is built off of an existing wall that's not very straight. So I've already made my tick marks using the laser method of squaring up off of this new framed wall over here. So now that I know that I'm perfectly parallel to that wall with my tick marks here. I got one right there, and then I went all the way down to the end of the room and made another one that I know is perfectly square to that wall at that point, sort of where the laser or where the ladder is. Then I had Mac and I, we snapped a line here with the chalk box, red chalk on concrete. It's a really good line. It'll stay there because of the red chalk. It's a little bit tougher. So now that that line is in place, I have the bottom plate. And that's sort of, you sort of have to do everything backwards because we're reframing a house from the inside out and sort of from the top down. Because our roof had a bunch of issues. So now that we have this red line struck here for our bottom plate, I want to transfer that line up to these joists so that then I can put my double top plate in and be perfectly straight and right in line with the square mark down here. So there's a couple ways that we can do that. What I chose to do is use a plumb bob and string first, and then what I did was I just looked down at that line, got up onto the ladder, and went up to a joist and unraveled this plumb bob here. And then dropped it down, so that it hits where that line is down there. And I like to use the ground to steady the plumb bob to begin with, because if you let it hang like this and you don't touch it to the ground, it'll just keep on swinging, and then you wait for it to stop, or you try to stop with your hand, then that doesn't really work. So you come up here to, almost the top of your joist, give yourself a little room to move up or down. So I'm going down and waiting until it hits the ground. So there it's hitting the ground, you can see. And then I'll let it just lightly go off the ground and then see where it's going, and then hit it back down to the ground and wait for it to settle itself a little more. Go back to the ground, and now it's pretty much stopped, and it's not hitting the ground. But I'm not exactly in line with the red line, and we can't see it from on there. But what you have to do then is come back to the top of the line and move it over slowly, because you'll see as I move it over, it'll want to walk around some more down there, but you want it right over that red line, and I'm right over it right now. So I'm gonna come back up here, take my pencil out of my pocket, and then make the tick mark there right in line. So that's one way that I did it. But I also then wanted to check the accuracy of that line against the accuracy of that laser that I was using in that first video. So here it is. What is it? The Bosch GTL2. I got this at Home Depot. So step back up to the ladder. Now, the nice thing about this laser is that not only has a laser, but a lot of Bosch's tools have levels on them, bubble levels. So you can level things out that way too. Level the instrument along with the laser that it shoots out. So I took it, turned it on, and made sure that I lined up this line that's shooting downward. You'll see it down there on the ground right now. Make sure that's on. But then I came over to this bubble, which is out right now at a level. So then I start to move it, and then I wait until I've got it pretty well centered. And it's as accurate as it can be, because your instrument is only that long, so it's a little bit hard to level. But then you come back over to the laser. Now that you're level, you look down at the ground, and I can see I'm sort of over this way from the actual line that was snapped on the ground. So I want to move over. You can see that red line moving over. Then you come back up here and make sure, okay, I still want to be level. Check level. Am I in line? No, I'm like an inch off. So I gotta just move this back over, and sometimes I just look up here and move it over. Keeping it level. And then it's just a back and forth between the laser and the red line, and then the bubble level. So all those three things need to be right in line before you can actually make a tick mark or confirm your previous plumb bob tick mark that you're right. So that's the other way to transfer the line from your floor to your ceiling. And now the next thing that I'm going to do is I chose to mark this joist, which is almost all the way down in my run, and then I marked the very first joist down there, way down there. So now what I'm going to do is take my chalk box, and I'm actually going to I'll probably use the blue this time. What I'm going to do is make a level, or make a straight line between the 2 points now. So I'm going to get this lined up with that mark as best as I can, and then pull this all the way down to the end, and then snap it, and this point that we just made will transfer onto each one of these joists all the way down. So then I can attach my double top plate so it's straight between each individual joist, and then I know it's also in line with my my parallel line down there. It's parallel to that wall over there. Okay, hopefully this video helps too, or again you're just super confused.